Hey folks, tonight's going to be a little bit of a shorter stream. It's been a pretty long day at work and I'm kind of tired, but I wanted to make sure that I keep up the habit of actually doing the stream and hanging out, getting some work done. So tonight, I am going to be working on moving some of the stuff that I've been doing on Harmony back into the main project that's, what was it, LabKit, that is kind of got all my Unity boilerplate stuff in it. And yeah, this should be pretty easy. There's going to be some kind of renaming and namespace cleanup and all that sort of thing. So this is kind of a not going to be a hugely analytical piece, at least I don't intend it to be. But it'll be kind of nice to just hang out and oh, and I finally came up with a name for the show. So in my infinite love of puns and the lo-fi hip hop that I always have on in the background here, this is now Code Fix and Chill. So enjoy. I'm going to be starting out here. So this is the code that I've been working on so far. I'm going to clean this stuff up a little bit in order to get it back into the namespace for LabKit. Now, before I got on, I went and updated to the latest version of Unity, which looked like, what is it, 2018.5 just came out? Oh no, it was 2018.2.5, which for some reason this one isn't showing. I guess I didn't load this one in the right version, but I just updated all the stuff in Unity Hub. So that's probably what I should do first, actually, is restart this piece. Make sure that all of those are updated. Yeah, see, here you go. So this one's 2.5, and I've got some stuff that I got to fix over here in LabKit as well, because some of my testing framework doesn't work anymore. But let me go ahead and pull up Harmony in the right version of Unity. There we go. There's the good old import. Let's see if this thing still loads. My hope was actually tonight to do a short game in Harmony itself, but I realized that I'm going to have to do this integration before I can get to that point. But I really want to be iterating on Harmony itself by having a couple projects going at the same time. That way, I kind of see the implications of the pieces now that everything, the basic functionality is there. So I don't get into optimizing things too far before I know that they're actually going to work. So let's see. All right, hey, all this stuff still seems to work correctly. Let's just run this and make sure that it's compiling properly and everything. Oh, it did a jump. Why did it do a jump? Let's check our circuit, make sure everything is actually working correctly. Oh, these are still on set variable to time. I thought I'd fixed that. Is this an old version? No. Maybe I just didn't save the old version, or the version that I was editing live. So. Oh, this is weird. Delta time to variable. Okay, so I'm going to remove the set variable to time. Set these up properly. This is Y. This one's X. X and Y. There we go. Okay, looks like that's working right. That's not working right. Let's bring that back and see what's going on there. Ah, it's got the next trigger. This needs to be the last trigger. There we go. Cool. That all works. So if you all remember, I have a customized version of the full serializer library in here that lets me serialize Unity objects as references in a reference list. So this is going to conflict with the version of full serializer that I have in the main LabKit project. And I think I'm just going to replace that version with this version because I think this is a little bit better. There's some other warnings and stuff that I want to get cleaned up, but it's not that big a deal. So let's see, where am I going to start? I think I should start with probably getting some of these names lined up correctly. Because circuit editor window is not what this is supposed to be called anymore, because it's kind of the unified editor for all of Harmony. And I know this was actually my first debate before getting on here, was if I was going to rename Harmony entirely, because I had this previous project called Omnibus that I really like the name of that, and it's pretty unique. And Harmony is kind of already taken by an animation tool that exports into Unity. So I could just use Omnibus instead. But Omnibus was the name of the project when it was only dealing with the data flow section. So it basically did this functionality down here, but as part of the Unity object graph. It didn't have anything to do with this piece up here or the piece I was actually thinking about the way home today. I want to add some messaging capability to this so I can do things like raise global events or post messages to each other. So one thing, I don't know, let's say if you hit somebody with a sword, then you can post a on got hit message to them, and then it would flow into this graph somewhere, and you could have an on got hit event that sends a trigger down into a script on a state. And I think that hooking that stuff up can be pretty cool, because then you could handle different events in different ways depending on what state you're in. And yeah, it could just be, I think it could be super handy. Anyway, all of that stuff kind of goes beyond just what Omnibus was for, but I'm going to delete Omnibus from the project now, so I could just rename everything to that, because I do like that name better. I have to rename everything. It's actually not such a big deal. And I can always do the renaming again, but during the import process, that would mean I would have to pre-delete Omnibus from the LabKit project, which if there's any leftover references, then it could kind of get confusing. Yeah, that's all right. I got an hour to do this. Okay, there, get rid of the count. I did get rid of the count, you're right. So I'm wondering if I'm on a previous version of this or something. I need to check this out, actually. Let's see where this is. This is from GitHub. Let me see. I'm gonna make sure everything's synced here. Yeah, something doesn't seem right. Let me go find this repo. No, it says everything's synced. All right, let's go look at that one and see why these things are showing up still. So that is in the trigger ref drawer. Which actually, is that in the helper? I'm gonna have to find my way around this stuff again. It's been a few days. There should be a custom drawer for this type. Oh no, because it's an enum now. That's right. But then didn't I have it hidden? Let's just go look for trigger ref. What is up with this project? Does it not have... Something is really funny here. It's maybe when I update it to the new version. Okay, oh, it's just trigger. It's not trigger ref. So... Okay, that's one of the references. yeah, hold on. If, oh, this is if I'm adding it to this tree, then it doesn't show. That's why. Okay. So yeah, okay, this is why. In the state reference, it doesn't show these, but I did correctly do it in the expression tree reference. So in this case, I think I should just add a custom drawer for this, which is not hard to do. There's a dictionary somewhere that maps maps my types to the drawer that I use, because I kind of overrode I'm basically rewriting the serialized property thing that Unity usually supplies, which is what I use to draw most of these fields, or what you would use to draw most of these fields if you're using Unity's main UI. But I'm doing it myself so that I have control over where I get to draw all these different fields and kind of how I get to draw them. So I need to remember where I did that. It's editor, there you go, editor GUI field. So under all these inspectable types here, these ones, for an enum, for instance, it will do this. So if what I'm looking for is I'm going to do a inspectable type. There we go. So this is going to add a new represents to trigger specifically, because the way that represents works, I thought this was pretty clever. The way that represents works is it will find there's this custom attributes of, it disappeared. There it is. It'll find the custom attributes on here, and it will map the type that it's supposed to represent to the inspectable type, and it draws it using the inspectable type. So when you're actually trying to get something's inspectable type, it'll get the most specific overridden type that you can. So for all enums, it'll just return enum, but for what I'm about to do, which is here, I'm going to say if this is a trigger, then serialize it as a trigger ref. And actually, I should put this probably down at the bottom. And it just goes in here. Good catch. Thank you for that. No, this is something I needed to fix anyway. Let's see. Now, enum popup needs to not show all the values in the enum. I wonder if that's possible, or if I'm gonna have to do some more kind of chicanery here. Let's ask the internet. No, it looks like it's probably just gonna have to show all of them, which means I could implement my own using a drop-down button. Mask field, let's see. Yeah, I think what I'm gonna do is just need to do a regular drop-down button. So and then pop a list when I do that. I think I did this somewhere else. Let me see. Yes, I did. I did almost exactly this. So for adding aspects, is that right? Yes. So right here, I did this for aspects. So I'm just going to do exactly the same thing. Now, how did I know where to pop this menu? Oh, you pop it as a drop-down. Well, all right. That's pretty straightforward. So just copy paste all that code in here, and then I'm going to rewrite it for, right, can't fall through there. So this we're going to have to return at the bottom of this, the new enum value. So cast that over, and the rect that we're going to use is the position that gets passed in here. Content is going to be, I guess you usually show the current value for these. Yeah, so that's what I'm going to do. Trigger toString. There we go. And now I just have to get all the enum values, but then I'm going to discard the last two. They don't have a slice in here, do they? That's okay. So set all the values in here. And we're going to go from really it's until I don't want to hard code it as 2 because obviously I can add more stuff afterward just in case. So I'm going to pull this up on the side here. So if I wanted to add more defined values after this, then yeah, I wouldn't want to just hard code that. So this is actually, I don't need values to add because this is just a constant. Man, making trigger into an enum made things way simpler. I'm still worried that I'm going to find some reason that I shouldn't have done that. So in here, we're just going to add all this stuff to the menu. Now, I want to make it work pretty much exactly like this. Okay, so they're going to have selections next to them. So I have to use that. Content of the enum values at the ith element. Get its string value. And it's going to be on if I is equal to trigger. And the menu function here. Oh, well, this is a problem. How do you implement this? Because this is supposed to be a callback. The menu function is supposed to be a callback. But it's supposed to return. Maybe I'm using the wrong kind of dropdown. Is there some sort of list maybe? There's only a drop-down button. All right, back over here. And actually I want editor GUI because I have to be able to draw them in a specific rectangle. They should all have the same functions, but this will just help me get right to what I want. Maybe as a pop-up. Oh, this pop-up selection field. There we go. Okay, so I don't actually have to build this thing myself. So that was going to be the sticking point, is I got all the way here and then said, hey, this menu function, it's going to be called asynchronously, and yet I have to return the value inline here, which I could do by using some kind of internal state to track which one. Man, that would be complicated. I would have to say, I basically have to make a dictionary to say which of the trigger refs I was editing that got the dropdown picked, and man, that would have been a mess. Okay, so glad we're not doing that. We're just going to go back to if editor GUI dot popup and go this way. So the selected index is, oh, we can do a hack here. It's not really a hack, but because we have an enum and the enums are in order and we're going to display them in enum order, the currently selected one is just the value, the integer value of the trigger. And the displayed options are going to be enum.getValues for the trigger, except for the last few. So I really just want to get a section of this array, which I'm trying to use slice, which is in JavaScript, there's a function that's called slice that allows you to just take sections of an array because it's super cheap. You can also do it using link, but I feel like none of those are the answer here. Maybe system array has something that can help us. I can just use resize. Kind of lame, but okay. And the new size is just going to be count. Cannot be inferred. This does return. Right. Is there a version of this? I think there's a version of this that actually. Is this how it is? No. Is it trigger get values? Oh, I don't even want get values though. I won't get names. That was just wrong in the first place. There you go. Now I get an array of strings. Now I resize the array of strings. Now I can pop up with, values. And so the displayed options aren't really optional GUI style. Okay, we're fine there. And then we just say trigger equals int of that. Nope. Trigger of the returned integer value. And then we can just return that. Okay. Now if all went well. Oh, you can use take. Yes, that's right. I forgot about take. That's the link one, right? Oh, it isn't link. Oh, okay. Never mind. No, it is. You can use take. So in this case, I guess it was good to use resize anyway because pop-up needs an array, and so I would have had to do two array with a link query. Hey, there we go. All right, now it's just next and last. Back to having those in the right place. All right, that's much more satisfying. Let's check that in. Call this fix rendering of trigger when it is a property. Cool. All right. So I guess the next piece would be to, well, I was going to see if I was going to rename Harmony to Omnibus. I don't know. Bokeh, you want to weigh in on this? By the way, should I call you Bokeh or should I call you Joe? Or either? Both? Let me know. Yeah, naming things is hard. So there's another couple pieces that I have to figure out. Let me go look at the other project and we'll kind of see where things stand there. So this is a test suite that I had written for the old version of Omnibus. And it's not going to matter if when I delete Omnibus. So I would like to at least keep a version of this around for reference because there's a bunch of really useful code that I wrote in here. Things like editable lists, like reorganizable lists, all that sort of stuff. Oh, Josh. Okay, cool. It's good to officially meet you, Josh. So let me do... You know what? I'm gonna do it. I think I'm probably just gonna do it. I'm just gonna delete Omnibus. It took me a long time to write this thing, so that's why it's kind of hurts a little bit. Omnibus is very complicated and has served me well, but I think that this system is just better. Yeah. All right. Away we go. Goodbye, Omnibus. You will be missed. And I have all this stuff backed up anyway. All right. Omnibus does not exist, and we're trying to test it. So let's delete that. Any more errors? Are we still good? Okay. Looks like we're just down to the basics here. So LabKit has the ability to create packages. One of the first things that I wrote for this is, so here's the old one for Omnibus, which I'm going to delete now. It has the ability to, with one command, I can go up here and build all. That's how I do this. And what build all does is it goes through this list of packages and it exports Unity packages that are compressed and have all of the code in it that you need and all that sort of thing to just double click it and add it to your project. So I use all these packages that it creates as I distribute them on GitHub and then also use them in all of my projects as a way of just getting started with something. So if I double click the CSV package and then all of a sudden I can have CSV parsing support, or I double click the extensions package and I get all of my extensions in there. And the cool thing about this is that each of these knows all of its dependencies, which can include other packages. So there's never a question of, oh, did I install the right thing? And then because Unity on import will automatically deduplicate the files that you have. Really, it's just what features do you want? You want this feature, you want this feature, you want this feature, you just add them in. So sometimes I'll just do all of them. Like there's LabKit Complete, which is, hey, that's just everything. But more often than not, I want something very specific, like, oh, I want to use a Google spreadsheet as a data source and, pull data off of something that I've been working on online. And then, yeah, you can just kind of targeted import that. So what I'm going to be doing is making a new package for the new version of Omnibus, which is what I'm about to rename everything to. Once I grab that and pull it all here into this project. So let's go back though, because I'm going to need to start renaming some of this stuff. Make sure everything's saved here and backed up before we start doing the big rename. There we go. All right, so Harmony Editor Utility, you are no more. Do a nice little find and replace. I want to do the, what is it called? The IntelliSense rename before I do the actual, just do a find and replace, because I trust it more. And there'll be a lot less to see in the find and replace one, so I can kind of do a visual inspection, make sure that they're all going to work properly. So this is a big one. And in fact, I want to rename this labkit.omnibus. So I wonder if it's going to let me do this. Hey. And I think there's actually one more stage here. Oh, that's not good. Okay, that didn't work. Undo. Whoops. That needs to be undone everywhere. So I think if I close all, don't save. I might have changed a couple files. Okay, might have to do that again. Wait, other places this shouldn't have been replaced. Did it save halfway? I guess it saved halfway through. We could be in a pickle here. We could be in a very odd spot. Let's see what happened according to GitHub. Okay, that seems alright. I'm pretty sure this is the naming convention that I used over here. Yeah, it's GGEZ. And then this stuff is just directly underneath it. Is that how I always did this? I thought I was GGEZ lab kit. And then I guess not. I guess it's just GGEZ. Okay. I don't know if I like that as much anymore either, but that's okay. We'll stick with it. So with this piece, what is this? Oh, that's right. This is originally how I was setting this up. We don't need this file anymore. That's gone. This settings piece is incomplete, but that's okay. This is bringing it over so I can continue working on it, not because it's done. All right, this helper code, it's a good idea to dispense of just large blocks of commented stuff. Link asset and prefab. I used this at one point. I'm gonna comment this out. It might still be handy. What this used to do is find or create an asset that was a sub-asset of another asset that represented a scriptable object. And I don't know how I do it now, but I guess I must have written a way around it because this was my just go-to function for that earlier. Oh, of course, I must use find asset prefab and then create it manually. Right, yep. Okay. Yeah, if we're in here, we have this serialization piece. Oh, GGEZ stands for Good Games Easy. So as a gamer, so you type it and it's like, you know, GG is good game, easy is, it's kind of an insult you say at the end of a game to somebody. It's like, oh, it's so easy to beat you. But I'm taking it and I wanted to make it, I don't know, I wanted something short and memorable for the stuff that I release on the asset store. So I use GGEZ and I have ggez.org as the website for that, and I've released a couple assets. And because it's kind of, you know, it's kind of gamery, and then it's a tongue-in-cheek reference, that sort of thing. Yeah, short, which I also like. Yeah, as you can tell, I'm really good at naming things. All right. So this is all the way that I want it to be. This file I gotta rename. This stuff I will probably be able to merge into LabKit a little bit. I'm trying not to create a lot of cross dependencies though, so trying just to import the stuff that is absolutely necessary. So hopefully that doesn't go too far. Okay, this is still the circuit stuff, except that this piece is no longer the circuit editor window. This piece is now just the omnibus editor window. And in here, this is commented out for a very good reason. So this actually creates a lot of issues if you try to, when the window's disabled, if you try to do anything, because disable also occurs when the program's stopping. And if you try to do some serialization while the program is stopping in the editor, I've soft locked it a few times, which is really annoying. So that's just dangerous code even to have kind of lying around there. Let's see. All those pieces are good. Okay, so now I'm going to check to see which of these things are actually used. Let me save this. Prep for import. So I'm going to do this just by deleting these and seeing what happens. Goodbye. Go back over into Unity here. If we don't get any errors, then we're good. Yep. Okay. I feel like I imported this for maybe the math functions. Maybe not. Cool. Oh, the string extension. I see. My extensions library needed some of these because it has 2 base 62 string. Huh. How is that not part of the string extension itself? Oh, I see. I see. So the to-file name hashes itself, hashes a string, and then turns it into a base 62 string, which... Alright, that's fine. Whatever. It is probably one of these things then. So I'm just going to delete this full extensions thing here. And utilities. And see what happens. Vector two. Oh, it's the distance to line segment squared. Right, for picking wires. Okay. That is what I needed. Alright. I feel like that dependency is not that bad. So I'm going to pull back. I think I can selectively restore just those. Discard those. Now I should have just the vector2 extensions back, which when I build the package, then I can say, oh yeah, you just need these 2 files. Ah, perfect. There we go. All right, and full serializer is going to get... I have to change the namespace of full serializer because it needs to, as one of the redistribution things, I forget if it was in the README here or where I read it, but the author would like if he's completely fine with you distributing your own versions of it and all that sort of thing. Of course, it's BSD licensed, so that's fine. The key is that he just wants you to put it into your own namespace so it doesn't conflict with other versions of full serializer that somebody else might be using. And Josh, yeah, it's base 62, not base 64. Base 62 is the character set. So I think it's what is it? It's all alphanumerics, capital and lowercase, plus common symbols. And actually, let's just go have a look at it. I'm going to show it to you in the other program. So this is the base 62 alphabet. Oh yeah, it's not even common symbols. It's just alphanumerics and uppercase, lowercase. That way, there's no question about it being acceptable as a file name, because all of these are. Yep, and you can use them for other things too. For instance, if you're making a, what is it called? A URL shortener, they often use base 62 as the way of encoding some number into the URL. So yeah, it was kind of a pain, so I finally just eventually wrote one of these for the purposes of hashing file names. All right, so this should be pretty straightforward. I want to keep the full serializer name. I just want to put it under GGEZ. So let's just do that. Now we get to find out exactly how magical VS Code is, because if it did this rename and nothing broke, I'm going to be very happy. Huh, look at that. All right. Well, that went pretty well. So the other thing we can do, so there's this warning in here that's been bugging me. We get that the tangent mode is now obsolete and we need to have left and right tangent modes. So I'm going to fix this really quick too. This is pretty straightforward. Get. What did it say? It said, how do I get the tangent mode? Use animation utility dot get left tangent mode. Okay. Where on earth is animation utility? Oh, it's a Unity editor thing. Well, then how the heck are you supposed to use it outside of the editor? Get key left tangent mode. Yeah, that's dumb. Why, if you can't use it outside of the editor, then this isn't helpful. Let's see what other people have to say about this. Yes, they are. That's not helpful. Oh, right, you guys can't see this. Here we go. Going through here. So I just read an answer where somebody said, oh, you can only use the tangent mode inside of the editor, huh? It's like, yeah, I guess. Oh, this is from 2012. That's not going to help. I wonder if there's source code to just get... Is that what this is? This is get left tangent mode and right tangent mode. Shoot. Nope. Okay, I'm not going to fix this now because the deprecated version just works. Sorry, Unity. You have to deal with your deprecation. Oh, I'm going to put these back though. There we go. All right. I think we're almost there. Almost getting to bring this home into the main project. Right, I don't need this, that's for sure. Okay. We're good there. Let me see if there's any other references for harmony. Ah, in the README, which the README is definitely up to date. So that's not going to change. So this settings piece, I have this idea for a hierarchical settings files where you create these objects that reference settings for a lot of their parameters for things inside of the logic on the scripts or on those states, all that sort of thing. And then the settings files can kind of reference other settings files to either override or inherit values. And that's what all the settings stuff is supposed to be. But settings hasn't... I'm wondering actually if I should just remove this even before I import it, because it's kind of a half-baked idea. I think it's going to be useful, but it doesn't actually do anything yet. Let me see where all this stuff is referenced. So I got it there. Oh, and I'm still calling all these things entities too. That I probably need to fix. So one thing at a time. Settings first. So these settings, I mean, I already wrote all the code to import them and everything, or import them and edit them. At least it's this. Oh, if it has a settings asset, then it will. Which I haven't provided the ability to add a settings asset yet, which is why it doesn't have it. But if I go in here, I hit debug, owner, subject, settings asset. Okay, so it does have a settings file. Did I already set up the inheritance? I may have done this without realizing it. Yeah, inherit from. It sets inherit from to itself. I feel like this is broken. Why is it setting inherit from to itself? Oh, because it stores. Oh, that's right. It stores its entire structure as values or as a JSON, and then it like reserializes itself. That's right, using references in order to. Why did I do it this way? There was a reason that I did it this way, but it escapes me now. Okay. Hey, so I'm getting failure to load now. Probably because I bet it's because I changed the namespaces and all of those, and the JSON is still in here still references the old stuff. So I'm going to go in and I'm going to hand edit this. Ooh, I don't know if this is going to work. You know, this is actually an interesting problem because if you rename files, you rename things like types, then this JSON won't understand that, and it will still probably try to use the olds. Well, it'll definitely still try to use the old types, right? So here's all the Harmony stuff, and Harmony doesn't exist, so this is a problem for it. And I don't know if it likes when I do this. In fact, I'm fairly sure it doesn't. Because if I try and save the project, I think that when I do this and re-import, oh, it didn't restore. Okay, where's the error now? It's on entity editor data. Yeah, okay. So it looks like because I renamed this stuff that I'm going to have to go and build that little structure again, which, you know, it's not a big deal. I'm going to have to rename this stuff. I'm probably going to have to rename this stuff once it's in there anyway, because I don't really like the name entity for this, because that's like entity component framework, and that's not exact. That was what I was doing with this at one point. All right, Josh, thanks for hanging out. High priority incident. Wow. Yeah, man. Definitely go take care of that. I'll see you again sometime. So I got to rename this stuff at some point, and it's not that big a deal. It's not blocking me from actually doing this integration, so I'm not going to worry about that tonight, because probably only got about another half hour anyway. I think I'm about ready. I want to bring this with me as well, this new editor menu for script templates. I think this thing's super handy. Okay, let's grab some code and move it over. So I'm getting ready to break lab kit. by deleting full serializer. I'm not going to delete the whole thing because there's some references to it in the packages that I'm building. And I think that they just reference the folder and the README, the folder and the license. Everything else I'm going to replace. Wow, that only produced 2 errors. And the JSON thing here. Okay. Yeah, that's fine. Okay, here we go. Here's Omnibus. And oh, there were still some other pieces in here. Harmony. I'll show you guys the copying while I'm doing it, because I know this is super stimulating. All right, this is the full serializer. I'm going to bring all of this over. Show that one. Go in here. Copy pasta. All right, now I have a new version of full serializer. This one using my local version of full serializer. Perfect. All right, so we got the new version of full serializer copied over. And now for the big part. Oh, this is the wrong version. Here comes Harmony. All right, Harmony is in LabKit now. There we go. And we don't have a trigger. That is correct. So inside of just inside of here, I need to define trigger. Because this is supposed to be defined by the user when they actually import this. Now how do I want to set this up? I think I'm going to do this because then this script will kind of show up in the user's root directory. They'll be like, oh, what's this? So I'm just going to go down here and then say class, like enum trigger. So I'm going to grab this version because it relies on it being formatted exactly this way. This file is used by Omnibus. Cool. All right, there we go. So now we have this trigger file in the root, and this, yep, will build properly. So now I'm going to build a package for it. So it's create GDEZ labkit. That's Omnibus settings, right? Asset package config for Omnibus. Now, if you remember, so we want all of full serializer. We want all of Omnibus. Where did it go? Which is currently called Harmony. So we're going to rename that. Oh, that's No, not that one. We want omnibus. Put that here. And then we want this trigger. And we also need the vector2 extensions file. There we go. Perfect. Now we have omnibus, and it can be built as a package. Let's do some renaming. Okay, this is my little helper piece. I could just rename this helper. That's fine. Everything else just gets little names, so I think we're good. Is circuit really just circuit still? I guess it is. I wonder if I should split these pieces out now that I'm here in the main library, because there's kind of all these different pieces. There's these relationships, there's things that go, like variable reference goes inside of declared pieces of the circuit. I should probably split all this stuff out, but this is for another time. We can make a little maintenance task list here. Oh, I can't just make a plain text file in here. That's all right. Let's write this stuff at the top of helper. So, we go to do section. I want to go through and rename entity to something that makes more sense. Split types that aren't related into different files. Make navigation more obvious. I do have circuit and program as the two pieces. That I do like. Programs have scripts and layers and states and transitions. All that stuff is great. Where's operator declared? Oh, it's right there. Okay. Right. There's a lot to do on this, but I feel like I want to make a game with this thing as I'm going, like I said earlier, so that I can actually test this thing out while it's being developed. So I think I'm probably gonna make a platformer with this pretty soon. Especially now that it's all integrated here, this is pretty good. Ah, there's that other piece that I was gonna bring in as well. So another handy script that I came up with while I was working on this. Oh, this is the project. Where is it gonna go? It's just an editor extension, so it's gonna go in here. I want to bring over this editor menu for script templates. And then I'm going to add it to the LabKit editor environment. Oh, it's already in there. Okay, so what this does is, where did I actually stick this? Editor menu for script templates. Let's see. Oh, this is edit script templates, C# script template, that's right. So under here, you can go edit script templates. And so this is the only one that I have right now. I can add the other ones, but what this lets me do is it lets me just immediately pull up the basic script for, for whichever, well, in this case for C# scripts. So this is for mono behaviors. That way I can edit that when I'm making new things. And if you have a really quick reference to it, then you're more likely to use it to make your life easier. So when I make a new script, it's not, oh, I have to go in and edit all these pieces every single time. It's, oh, I'm working on Omnibus today. I'm going to go use the Omnibus template, for instance. Okay, this is all still the old piece. So I'm going to get rid of that. Bring back VS Code with nothing in it. There we go. Oh, it's not liking to bring back VS Code right now. Yeah, okay, it looks like I might have to do a manual display capture. That's all right, because we were almost done anyway. Mostly wanted to bring this project open. Hmm. Now that's weird. It's not wanting to open this project actually in Visual Studio. That's all right. I figured it out. Hmm. Doing it this way, I actually got access to all the tests and everything. This might just be better. Nice. So I'd really like to add some tests for Omnibus as I'm going as well. Make sure that all this stuff is doing what I think it's supposed to be doing. Okay. I'm going to add the unlicensed to all of these. So all the code that I build is released in unlicensed, and if that's a problem for whoever's using it, just let me know. The intent is that I don't want the licensing of this stuff to be a blocker for anyone using it. This is generally the things that I'm writing on stream are, well, they're either going to be, the little games that I'm not going to commercialize or anything like that. It's just to show people how to make things. And the software that I'm building, so stuff like Omnibus here, is for people to use. So I don't want the license to be a blocker to it actually being used for just whatever purpose. It's not my intention to make money here. I'm not trying to get famous or anything like that. It's really just to help people out. So the unlicensed, if you don't know, is the most permissive license that you can give. It's a basically you do whatever you want with this license. There's no copyright, there's no controlling interest, there's nothing like that. It's all in the public domain. And it's written in such a way that for jurisdictions that don't allow public domain, it falls back to an MIT license where you just have to give the author credit, but I think the author is the public domain. So yeah, you can just basically take this code and do whatever you want with it. So if you do find it useful, feel free to let me know. I think that'd be pretty cool. But the intent is just to get it out there, because a lot of the stuff I feel like should just exist because it makes life easier. All right. I think this stuff is ready to go. I haven't tested on OS X, that's fine. Oh, it keeps trying to open Notepad for that. There's something different about this project. I don't know if it's just that I'm opening it in 2.5 for the first time and it's kind of confused, but it's trying to open, whenever I'm clicking on this stuff, it's trying to open it in Notepad. It's not the best. Interesting. In drawing the editor states, I never actually have to reference the node. I guess it's because it creates its own context. Oh yeah, because I do a begin vertical. Mm-hmm. Okay. So I don't actually need this. This would be if I was doing hit tests or something like that, which that's fine. So I can just delete that. Prefab is in 791. Oh, right. Yeah, this is a problem too. Because when I was changing at certain points of serialization or deserialization, this is another piece I need to clean up. Where's that entity asset? No, it's helper? Helper. There we go. Clean up when things get saved, loaded from JSON to entities. Because right now it does it every single time you change anything, it reserializes. which definitely is not going to work long term. Similarly, I want to be able to hand edit the JSON. So that I won't have to rebuild stuff again in the future. Cool. And then I need testing for omnibus features. All right, got the little to-do list, and I think that we're done for tonight. So I'm going to check this in, and I think that'll be it. So tonight, yeah, just a little cleanup, pretty short stream. I will be back with more Code Fix and Chill probably this weekend. After probably on Sunday, I'll see if I can do another one of these. Maybe actually build a game. Who knows? My brother and I are going to be getting together Saturday, and early